Today, we're going to be talking about 4 advanced features and mechanics you may or may not know about that will enhance your gameplay immensely. Timestamps are in the description below, but I advise you to check out the whole video for more insight. Let's get into it. At number 4, magic device buildings. If you're still progressing through the buildings, you may have seen this. Basically, the general consensus is that people just click this auto assign button here and let the game do its thing. Well, I'm here to say do not do that if you want to min-max your units. First, you want to identify what kind of team you use. Here is mine, a dark team with Benimaru and Rimuru as my carries or DPS. Great, this helps me focus on specific magic devices, which would be the Dark Tower and of course the Protector Tower. You can then choose the optimal units to assign these buildings to, and with a higher max building level as you progress, you can assign even more units to these buildings for a bigger and noticeable stat increase. Also, a side note, I like to put the rest of my units into gold production as it gets very expensive endgame to level up your equipment. Number 3. Enemy targeting. Yeah, that's right, you can actually target enemies. You can target which enemy you want to attack and when you want to attack. Take a look here. I tap on the enemy's Benimaru and then I use 3 attacks. I then tap on another enemy and use my last 2 attacks. This is how it will play out. The 3 attacks will hit Benimaru, the 2 attacks will hit the other enemy. This is a very handy hidden feature if you're in a multi-enemy battle situation where you might want to set up an AoE ultimate, for example, to finish the job. Or you don't want to put all your attacks into kind of one basket and want to diversify your attacks. Targeting is very, very helpful. At number 2, Rearguard formation. What's a rearguard? Well, it's these 2 units in the back here and positioning them is extremely important. For example, before you begin your fights, always keep your DPS units in the rearguard. So when you swap them into the vanguard, which are the 3 units in the front, you will have an easier time choosing the quality of your attacks. Take a look at this for example. Here I have 2 DPS, Dark Veldora and Benimaru. When the fight starts, I swap in a DPS with the most amount of attacks. Turn 2, I swap him out, then bring in Veldora to replace the unit with the most attacks. And then I continue to alternate my DPS, and by doing this you will maximize your damage output and rely less heavily on RNG as you can plan your attacks. And at the number 1 spot, stacking buffs and debuffs. Now this mechanic helped me clear Master's Conquest, which is the hardest endgame content in the game currently, with a disadvantage of 40,000 EP. This is kind of insane. It's because stacking buffs is essentially the best way to optimize your burst damage potential. Now, burst damage just means dishing out as much damage as possible in a short window. In this case, or in this game, 1 turn. There are many units you can choose from that give a variety of buffs and debuffs, but it gets hard to stack all of them because of your max green skill points of 100 only. Well, good thing there are some easily obtainable or high-end protectors that can help you out with this situation. They can increase the cap 100 skill points to something even higher, so you can stack buffs or debuffs more easily. For example, we have Space Vesta and Wind Fuse. They are protectors who can increase your max skill limit and also have a secondary effect, which is a handy full color conversion. But for this example, I have my trusty Charybdis, and although he isn't quite the correct element for my dark units, the fact that I can stack buffs make up for it. Here, I use an attack buff, an ultimate damage buff, a dark resistance debuff, and a defense debuff. Now this requires a lot of setup and a lot of planning, and it may not be most people's playstyle, but it sure helps me one-shot these dang hard bosses. Take a look at this. And with that, that's all my tips I can share with you guys for now. The 4 advanced features and mechanics you may or may not know about. Now, if this video helped you in any shape or form, help you planning and strategizing, well, leave a like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Until next time.